Alright guys, welcome to the class of 2018 best Gunpla list. And it's going to be a top 5-ish, because there's quite a lot in the top 5. There were in fact many ties from 4th place through 1st place. There was a ton of ties. At one point, before some nitpicking, there were 7 for 3rd place. I did some nitpicking, cleaned it up a little bit. Now, one thing I'll explain: because there were so many ties, I had to figure out something for a tiebreaker. And what I decided to do was go by your views on the reviews that I did. So it kind of became a bit more objective, a little less subjective. So it wasn't just on me to determine what I thought was better. So I went through all of the particular reviews that were tied and put in your things. So I will show the ones that have tied, and then I will talk about the one that won. But I won't go into depth on all of them. I'll just show the ones that are tied, and you'll just be like, yay! And then that, like that, just to go a little bit quicker. So I'm not breaking down like I did last year for the top 4 that tied for 4, things like that. I'm not going to sit there and explain them all. But just so you know, the ones that ended up winning these different levels of categories were designated by your votes, or your views, I should say. But number 5 is actually a fairly concise one, so let's go ahead and get to that. So the reason for number 5 that's about to come up to be a little bit low on this list, which I'm probably going to annoy some of you, but the review itself has not even come out because I haven't reviewed it, but I built it in time, so it counts. Number 5 is the Ashtray No Name. Now, the main reason it is where it is at the bottom of the best list: quality. The maroon plastic, we'll just say it right now, not supposed to be maroon. It's supposed to be gray to make it look accurate. Even on the box, it's gray. It's not like a little bit of maroon, it's friggin' gray. So you don't even get that in the right thing. You get a lot of stickers for what it is, or you have to paint a lot. I did both, which you guys will see in the actual review when I get there. Articulation is hindered by the asymmetrical armor. That being said, it's very cool. It's very cool and it's very edgy. The weapon modes are a pain in the butt, so that really does hurt it. The fact that it doesn't come with effect parts, which it should, you know, it kind of sucks on that. But it's very cool, and it was a decently fun build. My first HD ashtray, so there's that. So look forward to that review coming up very soon in the year. But for the most part, that's your bottom. To give you a grade, the things that are above this are better than the No Name ashtray, which a lot of people really liked. So there you go. As for number 4, here's your ties right there. So there you go, real quick. So all these things had the same score and were only separated, and this particular kit right here, the CeraVe Scheherazade, won out because you guys watched it more than the other videos. So there's that. I love the CeraVe Scheherazade. You guys know I am a 00 fan. Now, for what it is, it's very articulate. It's very cool. It was kind of a fun build. It's fiddly, especially with some of the extra parts. But I really like it. And if it wasn't for the fact that it got so many views, the Leo would have won over the CeraVe. But the interplayability with all the extra weaponry, stuff like that, the different modes, all of that are actually well done. So this kit is definitely deserving of number 4. Moving on to the 3rd place spot, here's all of the 3rd place ties. No real ranking here because you guys had to split these up by your votes. So here's all the ties. A whole bunch of really cool kits. Some of them you're like, why did it not win? Also, mostly made up of Gundam Build Diver kits. So there's that. But the actual number 3 winner is a P Bandai HGUC Advanced Zeta Woundwort. Woundwort, whatever. This thing is, while it takes a ton of paint to make it accurate, including mixing up a custom blue color to do the blade, it's incredibly cool. Has a lot of articulation. The transformation is actually not terrible for what it is. Usually transformation's kind of hindered for me. and it's just fun. It was a fun build. I had an enormous amount of fun after I got it done. Now, mind you, a lot of the paintwork I did to make it accurate wasn't that fun, but making it more accurate was. And deathly cool. I hope they make more P. Bandai Wound Ward versions, because it has like a whole bunch of other things that it can do, and I want to see those. I will say that one thing that does hinder it a little bit is the way the shield gun sword thing all attaches to the arm. Doesn't seem correct. It seems like there's a couple other ways that it should attach properly to really be useful. So there's something wonky there. So that's what really keeps it at the number 3 spot. It would probably be a bit higher. So yay for that. Number 2s. This is going to surprise some people because of the way other people rank these things. But here's your ties. I know, I was as shocked as you were. So, the Moon Gundam is good for what it is. It's an incredible HG, no polycaps, needs paint. The psycho plates are not fun. Those were the worst things about this thing. The way they connect to each other and building them repeatedly over and over sucked. But there was some fun to this kit because it was new. I had a lot of fun posing it. I had a lot of fun playing with it. And I'm still working on upgrading it. I haven't done it just yet, so I'll make it a little bit better. As for the RX-78 Cross Silhouette, you guys know I love that kit. And if it wasn't for the fact that the winner got more views, which is slightly unfair, it was the very first kit I did of 2018 that was a 2018. I think one of these other ones would have won, realistically, but adding the water slide to the RX-78, just making it a much better build than it was, using a Gundam airbrush for the first time, adding the CS frame to just make it so much more articulate. It's so cool, it's fun, and it sucks that it didn't win this category, but this one did. And it's the Amazon Gundam itself, so the A-Zeta, or the A-Z, or whatever you want to call it. This thing is massively cool. It was a lot of fun. There were so many things that reminded me of 00 and some other kind of kits. It was a great deal, and it completely inspired a whole new type of video this year with my The Point video. The fact that somebody complained that the video was so long, I decided to make it a hundredth of, well, not even really a hundredth, but a few seconds long instead of, you know, nearly an hour long. But this thing is so friggin' cool. Its Wave Rider mode is awesome. Its Gundam mode is awesome. Its weapons are awesome. Quality is way up there, even for a kit that's mostly blue. It was just very, very good. And it gave the number 1 spots a run for its money. I really had to nitpick to get the number 1s. You heard me? Number 1s. Where they are. So technically speaking, this is the runner-up of the year. It's not a number 2, it's a runner-up for first place. Sounds really weird, but that's the way it is. And based, again, solely on your views to make this happen. And honestly, I argued this one. I argued this one a lot. But, Momokapool. I love the Momokapool. It was a ton of fun. Very good quality, although it needed paint. Articulation. Those arms are ridiculous. No matter how many joints you can add to it, it's a lot of fun. Transformation is good. And a lot of people may not like it, but I think it is definitely cool. I really want to get the Docs version. It's so neat. The stickers are probably a nightmare on that one, but it's really cool. But it wasn't quite good enough, probably because it's Build Everything, to beat out the number 1 spot based purely on the fact that you guys watch this video so much more in comparison. Which is the Gundam Ground Type HG. Now, being that I built several kits all based off of this one particular model this year, and this is the last one, including the Blue Destinies, the Gym Ground Type and all that stuff like that, the fact that this one comes with a buttload of weapons, is so good. The articulation is just as good as the other ones. I think the Blue Destinies ranked fairly high last year, or at least the one that I got done in time did. The backpack weapon system, all those things like that are just totally worth it. It does have some quality issues when it comes to the stickers to just build it. And I built this thing mostly straight, if I remember correctly. I don't think I did a ton of work to it. I did some small painting. Plus, the point video for the Gundam ground type was so good. I'm not gonna lie, that was so good. And I had a lot of fun making that and planning that video out. In fact, I had been planning that video from the moment I got the Gundam ground type. So there we have it. That's my top 5+ list, as helped by you guys to determine the actual winners. So it's really strange to have numbered categories like that and then have a buttload of ties, but that's how you guys actually influence this year's numbers. So you were the tiebreakers. I couldn't figure out any other way subjectively from my side to figure these things out. So there you have it, guys. Hope you have enjoyed it this year. Mind you, go check out the worst list if you haven't for some reason. Go check out the best MG list, which was right at the beginning of all of this class of 2018 stuff. And stick around to check out all the other best and worst lists, whether it's action figures, Transformers, or whatever. So I'll catch you guys later, and I'll see you in 2019. And remember, as always, to keep on building.